Okay, good morning. Finally kicked in. All right, all right, all right. So, good morning. Today is Monday, August 4th, 2025. It is just a little bit before 6 a.m. on this Monday morning here in southwestern Nevada, where once again, as always, we are west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, south of Area 51. We're in George Norrie, Art Bell, hard scrabble, sharp elbow, gun toting territory, Parumpertucky, or Parump, if you're not into that, if you're into that brevity thing, as the Big Lebowski would say. So here we are, Monday. This is day um, day one, week 4 of our neuroscience oriented approach to success. I have a text message. We have 16 people starting today, so that's about 60% more than our high. And now people are texting. Okay, anyway, big day, lot to do. This is week 4, day 1, week 4 in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. Um, and yeah, so we have a big show. Our theme, we're going to just jump right into it. Our theme of the day is the first law of power. Oh, yeah. So Friday we started talking about the laws of power. We're going to talk about the first law of power. Before we do that, though, advice from an 80-year-old: take charge of your attitude. Don't let someone else choose it for you. Right. It's one of the gifts we have is our emotions. One thing we've got is our emotions. Okay, where did we go? Where am I? There I am. Okay. We have our emotions. We need to control them. They're so extremely powerful. They can get us to do things we don't want to do. And that's usually what happens. Why people are in prison is they do things they didn't want to do. So that's the advice from an 80-year-old. Okay, what else we got on our hit parade before we dive into it? Seth Godin. What's sort of better? Sneakers are better for running a marathon, but shoes are better for wedding reception. This is the better of utility, finding something that does the job it sets out to do. And then there is the better of taste. Yellow mustard might be better than Dijon. Not for me, perhaps, but for you. When we sacrifice utility for taste, it pays to acknowledge that we've done so. Just because you like the shape of the bridge you just designed doesn't mean it's going to support trucks that drive over it. Okay, what's sort of better? Better taste or better utility? Cool, great. Let's see, what else do we have on our hit parade? Talk about today's TED Talk. Okay, so here in our book, which I just threw back there, week 4 in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. So the first week, intro and orientation, where we take this idea, life is a journey, it's an adventure. And what we need to do to maximize that is answer two questions from a practical perspective. Who am I, and why do I behave the way I do? We can say, I am the collection of 100 trillion cells, none of them that know who I am and none of them that care who I am, but somehow they come together and I become me. We can say that. Who am I and why do I behave the way I do? We look at it from a brain. How does my brain work? And if I know how my brain works, then I have the ability to dial it in to be who I need to be right now. That's the simple idea of a neuroscience-oriented approach to success. What is the purpose of neurons? What's the purpose of neurons? What's the purpose of neurotransmitters? What does the reticular activating system do? And how can I use these to my best advantage? Week 1. Week 2, learn about them. So this would be like, our life is an adventure. We're going to metaphorically express it as I'm going to go on a journey in a boat. And now, week 2, I need to build the boat. The boat has to be big enough to be able to go long distances, hold enough supplies and rations, and a place to put my cargo and my treasures that I collect along the way. But now I need to have a crew. So week 3 is I've got to choose the right crew. How do I find them? How do I recruit them? Week 4, which is what we are in right now, is how do I not crash the boat? How do I not have my journey end badly? How do I stay the course? And so we call this week leadership, just because it's a pleasant sounding name rather than power. We call it leadership. And leadership comes on a spectrum. From crisis leadership, which we're going to learn about today from Nancy Kane. That's her TED Talk in the worksheet down below. Nancy Kane, crisis leadership. Tomorrow we go the other extreme, pure leadership, where that is your Marcus Aurelius, you're the emperor of Rome. You control everything. You can have everything. How do you remain on course, steadfast, not given to one's emotions? And then the rest of the week, it's what's in between, the pragmatic, day-to-day leadership where everything isn't going wrong, we're not in crisis, and it's not perfect. It's the normal routine of life. Okay, we start with Nancy Kane, who has been for over 10 years a supporter and fan of the school, especially the women that we have. And Nancy Kane is a Harvard Business School professor. We've received 300 books from her, at least, as a donation and letters of encouragement. So today is a good one. Take the time, the 14 minutes, the 18 minutes to watch her video. Right. Okay. Right there. Right you are, mate. Let's see if there's anything else on our worksheet. That's where the real magic happens, people. The podcast is just to help you. This podcast, the daily podcast, is just to help you build a better routine, to build a good routine. You do it every day. You build better habits. It becomes unconscious, and you get better. You replace bad habits with better habits. That's it. Be on autopilot in a positive way. Okay. The laws of power. Spooky language. Why don't we know them? Now I can buy this book, The 48 Laws of Power, and I do have it next door. Very popular in prison. Very popular for people who like taking shortcuts. And there's 48 of them, so what that tells you is it's a book. It's something to be marketed and sold. Yes, there is value, but it's too much. Too much, and people thus get to pick and choose the ones they want. I say, what I have learned What I have been taught is there's 10 laws of power, 10 actual laws of power. Now, those can be fragmented, they can be divided, refined, further explained, and you can get to 48 or 480, but there's basically 10 actual laws of power that all successful people know either directly or they know it by habit, say. In our first 3 courses or programs, the apprentice course, the journeyman, and the craftsman, we learned the 10 laws of power. In the first one, the apprentice course, we learned the first 4 laws of power, the most important laws of power. And it's important to learn them to level the playing field with the people who know, because our students are at a very big disadvantage to the people who know and who use the laws of power. So we're kind of doing a little hack, and we're going to expose our people to the laws of power, the first 4 laws of power, with the caveat, the provision that you need to use these to do good. It's like the force. The force can be used for good or it can be used for not good. We don't use it for not good. Here's the reason why. Here's a simple, pragmatic reason why, the practical reason why. If you use the laws of power for evil, for bad, the good people who know the laws of power will avoid you. Bad guy, no, that's a bad guy. Avoid him. So that now means you only have access to the dumb people and the bad people. Pretty soon, the dumb people are also going to figure out you're up to no good. So they're not. You're gonna burn them once, twice, maybe 3 times, and then they're going to get like, nah. Now you're going to be left with the evil people. And the evil people, like Darth Vader, will pull you in to make you think they're with you, they're on your team, and then they will, as Darth Vader did in the first episode of Star Wars with the captain of the ship. You failed me for the last time. Crunch, throw him against the wall, dead. Okay? Better to use them for good. So the first law of power is suspense growing, dopamine flowing. The first law of power is power perceived is power achieved. Power perceived is power achieved. Or if people think you have power, you do. That's the first law of power. Power perceived is power achieved. We are visual people. So if you project power in everything you do, in the way you walk, in the way you talk, in the way you dress, if in everything you do you project power, people will perceive that you have power and you will thus have power. If you project non-power, people will get on that and they won't do what you want. So what is power? Once again, power is just getting other people to do what you want. Okay? You want to get other people to do what you want, you need to project that they will do what you want. There's a good reason to do what you want. You have the authority, you have the responsibility, or the responsibility, and or you're somebody that we can follow, because we are basically herd animals. So we're always looking for someone to follow. We're looking to take orders from someone. Leadership ideas, power ideas are developed. So power is getting other people to do what you want. In work, at business, what do we call it? We don't call it power. We call it management. And what do managers do? They tell other people what to do. That's what managers do. They get other people to do what they want. And if you're a manager and you want somebody to do this who's a subordinate of yours, and they don't do it, they've got trouble. Next, Um, in the military, it's called leadership. Leadership. What are good leaders? People who get other people to do what they want in a successful way. Here, it's called power. Well, it's actually called power. Week 4, we call it leadership just because of people hear power and they immediately go dark side, manipulation, coercion, stuff like that. First law of power, power perceived is power achieved. Project power. People think you have power, you do. It's that simple. That's how simple the laws of power are. And in the military, remember shock and awe? We're going to get the enemy to believe they can't win. In sports, I want my competitor to believe. If my competitor believes they're going to lose, guess what? They're going to lose. Gamesmanship. When you're at work, right? When you're doing anything, power perceived is power achieved. Project power. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the second law of power. I got to get to lava gel. Bonk.